Okay. Hababa, mashallah, when she gets into her class, mashallah, Hababa. Where's this one?
Recording in
Okay.
progress.
It's the, maybe it says something to say. You should be here. Yes, Ibrahim. Yes, yes. You go. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashraf al-anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Sayyidina wa habibina wa shafi'ina wa nuri qulubina qurrati a'yuna Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. نوينا التعلم والتعليم والتذكر والتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم ودعاء إلى الهدى ودلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى مع لطف وعافية برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم إنا نسألك علم لدني ومشرب صافي الهني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علم لدني ومشرب صافي الهني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علم لدني ومشرب الصوفي الهني يا وهاب يا غني. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين آمين يا رب العالمين. Okay, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. We are continuing with our last section of the book, which is on nifas, right? Which is istihadhah in nifas. Right. So I'm going to read from the book, Qal al-Mu'alif, then I will go and continue with the lesson. So we are at the section from, I think last week we covered. Do you remember what we covered last week? Last week we covered the mubtada'ah mumayyiza. Right, did we do the first few cases? I forgot. So now I forgot what I did last week. I think we covered up till the 7 situations. Exactly, they have the exact same 7 situations in Istihadhah haid as they have in Istihadhah nifas. Exact same situations, right? And we'll explain how it works with nifas, right? So it just basically there are slight differences here and there, which basically we can actually we'll be finishing the book very very soon because some of the cases in nifas are very rare cases. So even the Shaykh has not even give any examples and doesn't go deep into the matter because very rare, it's quite rare that women give birth without having nifas straight away. But they do have a discussion of what happens when a woman does that, when she gives birth and does not have nifas for like a good 10 days. I say there are women who actually experience that, and then the nifas comes. Right, so mashallah, in Allah's creation, eh? Right, so I think anyone giving me a prompt as to where we stopped last week? Anyone online? You all forgot. Everybody forgot where you started last week. Nobody is giving me any prompt. Right, conditions of tamyiz. Tamam. Okay, scenario 32, is it? Scenario 32. Okay, you went to conditions of tamyiz, 32, tamam. So we finished the scenario 32. So now we're going into scenario 33, is it? Okay, tamam. Okay, just a refresh, right? So the first type of istihadhah is the mubtada'ah al-mumayyiza, right? So she is a newbie, right? So first birth, right, goes into istihadhah. Okay, goes into istihadhah means bleeding beyond 60 days, right? But mumayyiza because the bloods are differentiable. Differentiable meaning that there are lots of different how you can say it's mumayyiza. Last week we went through the four conditions of mumayyiza, right? That means the strong blood cannot be less than minimum nifas. But minimum nifas is very easy, like it's only a moment. There is minimum nifas, right? The strong blood cannot be more than 60 days, right? And it cannot be the strong blood that is the one that it drags beyond 60 days, right? If it's a weak blood that drags beyond, then you can say mumayyiza, right? The weak blood is no less than minimum purity. And number 3 is for if the bloods are continuous with no end. Like it's bleeding month after month after month after month after month after month, right? So the weak blood is given the ruling of purity, and the strong blood is given the ruling of menses. That's why your home is correct lah. Right? The weak blood you say is all istihadhah. It's correct. It's all istihadhah. Then when the strong blood comes, then now you must go into menses. Right? If nifas, same thing also. You need to know where are the weak bloods and strong bloods. The weak bloods follow up from the strong, meaning that there is no strong blood between the weak bloods. If there is strong, weak, strong, weak, strong, weak, right, then the whole strong from start to end of the strong is all menses or nifas. Like if it's in the space with weak, right, the weak all counted as strong. Means that they're all within like if you have strong blood, then there is a gap of no blood or weak blood, then strong blood again. So if it's 2 days strong blood, then 3 days weak blood, then 2 more days strong blood, that means the entire time 2 + 3 + 2 is 7. The whole thing is strong. So you don't count the week that is between the strong. Okay, these are all the laws of Umayyah we went through quite a few times before, right? And inshallah, you get the hang of it lah. You get the hang of it as you as you go through more and more scenarios, and as you go through life also, you kind of like if you're going through istihadhah, all that, you get the hang of this. You get the hang of this. So we were actually on scenario 32. So after giving birth, she saw 15 days of red blood, 40 days of black blood, then brown blood continuously and went past day 60, right? So we see there's red, black, and there is brown, right? So where is her nifas? Her nifas is 15 + 40, okay? Because the black blood is a strong blood. So that is what I'm going to look at, okay? So from the beginning, she gave birth, her nifas began, okay? Then the brown that comes later on, that is it's called ashqa. Ashqa, it means brownish, right? That one is the weak blood, right? So her nifas until 40 + 15, 55 days, all right? So if she is mubtada'ah, that means she won't know if this brown is going to end or not going to end. So she waits until the brown goes past 60 days. So after 60 to 24 hours is finished, she must bathe and she must look at her records, and she finds that she finds that for 5 days she was on brown, and qada, right? The qada would end the qada. Qada, 5 days are not bad. Yeah, so I mean, if you've gone through the days and days of qada, then you like 5 days not bad. That's why people they go through weeks of qada, right? Because they're like so confused, right? But if you 5 days qada, it's really labas. It's okay, it's not bad, right? So they have to bathe at 60 and qada prays from 56 to 60 that she missed out. Okay, so after giving birth, she saw 5 days black, then 5 days red, then yellow all the way. Yellow very clearly, weak blood. Okay, so which means at this point, right, she only had 10 days nifas. This person. 10 days with skin. Then what she can do what? She can do what, right? So she has to, she had all the yellow was istihadhah, right? And in fact, yellow was dragging. She should have checked out first what's going on. I want yellow, 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 yellow until the end. Right, yellow blood, this yellow blood. We spoke a bit earlier on about the difference in yellow discharge and yellow blood. Right, so really, really, you must really try to know the difference between yellow blood and yellow discharge. Right, you will know when you bleed normally, right, and you wipe the blood, right, and you leave the tissue there, you will see a yellow around it. That is yellow blood, lah. Right. So the same thing appears on your liner. Right. That is yellow blood. Yellow discharge is very distinct. There is a texture to it. It's a discharge texture. Okay, they're very different things. So I'm still like, I don't know how to explain to people that they're still confused what is yellow blood or what is yellow discharge. They're two take panty liner pictures. I thought of using turmeric and just making not real people's discharge and blood. Use turmeric, use yogurt, and use something else that's not real people's blood and discharge. Right. So inshallah, maybe try and do it every next week or something. I'll try to remember to do it. Okay. So now we're going to the second scenario, the second case of istihadhah, mubtada'ah ghayr al-mumayyiza. Right. So she is a newbie. Right, first birth, right, blood's not differentiable, poor thing, right? This is her very first nifas. She has no ada, she has no reference. Then so what is going on with her? So she's not mumayyiza. Her nifas is minimum nifas, which is a moment. That's the only kesian. Poor thing. And because she's a first timer, she's gonna wait the entire 60 days to see what happens. So probably the entire series happened and there was no tamiz. It was one straight of blood, red all the way until past 60. Like, poor thing lah. So for her, she needs to now, okay, minimum nifas is a moment. Okay, but her head comes to rescue. Okay, head comes to rescue. Right, so she doesn't have to qada 60 days all the way. Right, I'm going to give some examples. She has a norm for haid. Right, she's gonna insert her norm for tuhur, norm for haid, norm for tuhur, norm for haid, the entire 60 days. Yes, so it's not so bad. Okay, not so bad. Not so bad. Okay, still okay, still okay. But if she is someone who has never had haid before, it's a mubtada'a fil haid, which is possible because people in Darim, they get their menstruation at the age of 18. Like it's normal, how Ashur was saying that it's normal for them to menstruate, first menstruation at 17, 18. They're already married, but they get their first menses after that. Yeah. They were very young and then they get their first bleeding. They already baligh by age. By age they're baligh, 15, right? So they can get married because they're baligh, right? But they have no menses until they're 18. So it's possible that a person gets pregnant before ever seeing menses. So it's possible that someone is a beginner for nifas and has never had menses before. So if this is the person, right, have no reference for any menses, that person has to qada 60 days. Right? That person who has no menses reference has to qada 60 days of prayer because she has no menses reference. She is a mubtada'a fil hayd, but in a sense, you give her 1 day hayd. So I'll give the example in a while. Okay, so for this person who has never had hayd before in her life, right? She went straight into pregnancy. Pregnant straight away because she married young, she never had hayd, and the first time she ovulated, she pregnant. Right? So there was never any hayd, right? So we will give her minimum menses and minimum hayd. Right, so we're going to see the examples, okay? So first and foremost, we look to see if she is experienced in haid, she's had before. If she is, we give her norm for purity first, then after a moment of nifas, then after the days of purity, give norm for haid. If first time in haid, then 29 days of purity, 1 day of haid, and repeat the cycle throughout the nifas period. Okay, I'm going to example now, okay? You see the example now. I'm going to give an example. Okay, so this person, after giving birth for the first time, these 70 days black. Oh, ya Allah. Then 10 days red. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Like, it's because Allah putting, like, never gotten hit before in the life. We're going to shock. Like, what's going on? Like, thereafter, bleeding stop. Okay, just gave birth, 70 days black, 10 days red. La how like, patience, be patient. And then what's going on with this woman? So she's a first timer. Bloods are not differentiable because the strong blood, when we past 60, right? So khalas, there's no discussion already for where is the nifas. There's no discussion. So now she's given a moment nifas. So the moment she gave birth, that moment itself, she was on nifas already. Then the next moment, right, 29 days thereafter, she is on purity. So those 29 days, she needs to qada the prayers of the 29 days following the moment of nifas. A moment is basically a second. That's a moment, a second of nifas. Yes, that means if she gave birth, right, that waqt itself of prayer, she must it counts already. She must qada that prayer timing. But she's gone through 3 days of figuring things out, right? Yeah. This is now past 3 days. And she's trying to figure out what's going on with her. So she's doing a qada, because she doesn't know, it's the first timer, she doesn't know that she's going to go into istihadhah. So she's going to wait for 60 days, see what's going to happen, and it hits day 60, still the black blood coming out, right? But at day 60, she must bathe already. She can't just like wait until 70 and then 10 more 80, no. 60, confirm must bathe, because no nifas beyond 60. She must bathe already. Then now she comes to Ustazah, what's going on, and the Ustazah will say to her, okay, you need to qada how many days. So now the issue is how many days of qada. That's basically the only issue, right? So the first 29 days after the moment of nifas, right, must qada. There's even 124 hours of menses, and then 29 days again of purity, so qada. So that means how many days so far? Okay, let me show you. Okay, I wrote it down. So birth and so on, and you repeat the cycle. I repeat the cycle until she has tuhur. So birth, one moment is nifas. From this moment to 29th day, she must qada the prayers. Poor thing lah. Slowly lah. She gets she's rewarded, bismillah. Then day 30, haid. Okay, alhamdulillah, 24 hours of haid. Okay, day 31 to day 60, 29 days again. Purity. So must qada. Okay? So in fact, day 60, day 61 is actually haid day. So when she bathed, she went back to haid. she went back to haid. Because she's now in her cycle, day 61 was actually haid. So 1 day haid. right? And then day 62 to 91, whereby she's yeah, yeah, yeah. And then she has to qada, right, from 62 to 91, right? Not qada, but purity, because she already okay, at day 60, immediately she needs to find the solution to her problem. She can't like leave it for 10 days and after go and ask Ustazah. No, 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 no. So they'll be like, hey, you came too late. At day 60, you should call me up. Right? And then probably I'm too busy and never answer the message. Unless it happens to me, people like it happened to them and then I didn't even see the message until later. When I say, hey, do you babe? And then I didn't see the message or I was like busy. So I try my best when it comes to hate question, try my best to answer there and then because I know people have to bathe there and then. Right? Or they have to call out there and then. They have to respond, they have to act on the hukum there and then. Right? No, inshallah. So on me lah, it's on me to answer the question on the spot. I don't put it off. Right. Yeah, she called me. I was teaching. Teaching, she called me up. And then I was like, what teaching say? Like, and I called her back. She was urgent, urgent. I want to know, must I pray or not pray? Like, urgent, urgent. Yeah. Think about it said that like you need to know, do I pray or do I not pray? Do I beef or do I not beef? Like what do I do? So if you can know the rulings, you can give yourself a ruling. You can judge for yourself. Right, so for her, she should have been praying istihadhah, right, 2 to 91. Then thereafter, qada 39 plus 29 days. Okay, which is 50, what? 58. 58 days of qada. Okay, she has 58 days of qada. Right, slowly, slowly. Yes, nifas was a woman. Because first timer, no previous nifas, and the bloods were not differentiable. And then first timer in the head lagi. Right, so it's really but hopefully it's very rare lah. Hopefully, Bismillah, Bismillah, very rare. You already give birth already. So okay, no, I'm not first timer, not first timer. I have a previous nifas to refer to. So if you know anyone who having their first birth, please get them to record properly because you want to find a tamyiz somewhere in their bleeding. Must find a tamyiz. Right, if not, they given this ruling. Okay, this that is the standard. So maximum 3 days in a month. So standard 1 day menses, 29 days tuhur. So they will give you the norm of a woman. So they give you as if you have a 3 day cycle, as if 3 day cycle. Yeah, so no experience. So they have no norm in their tuhur. They have no norm in their purity. Okay, this person has a norm. Okay, this second person has a norm. So she, after giving birth for the first time, she's 7 days red blood, 7 days red blood, straight red all the way, just blood. Then but experienced head before. Alhamdulillah. Right. So her norm of head is 20 days clean, 10 days head. Okay, I put the clean before the head because you're going to go with clean first before head. So after nifas, go to clean first and then head. Okay, so her nifas not differentiable. She's a beginner in nifas. She's given 1 moment of nifas because only that 1 moment is yaqeen. You get it? That's how the hukum comes about. What is yaqeen? So that 1 moment is yaqeen. Then now we look at her norm for head. So 20 days thereafter, ruling of purity. Because following her norm, after that moment, she has 20 days of purity. Right? So days 1 to 20, right, of her bleeding was actually purity. She must cover those days. Then we give her 10 days of haid as her norm. Then we go back to 20 purity again. So 21 to 30, it is haid for her. We have to call out those prayers. Then from 31 to 50, okay, purity again. Right, so must come out those prayers. Then 51 to 60, it is haid. Okay, at 60 she should have bathed. At 60 she should have bathed, right? And she would have been praying anyway. Okay, praying anyway. So basically she would have been doing a qada of 20 plus 20, 40 days. Right? Therefore she must qada 40 days. Okay, for this woman, inshallah. Right. So alhamdulillah, you'll be very happy if you had already had 1 nifas. Safe. Had 1 nifas before in my life. That's why lah. Last week we were talking about it. Like your first nifas 10 years ago, this one. Yeah, so if let's say alhamdulillah Ibrahim did not have any issues, Ibrahim nifas got no issues. If Ibrahim nifas was istihadhah, you must think of Halil's nifas. The thing, can't remember Halil's nifas. You must think how long, like roughly. Then you mutahayyirah lah you. Oh, what's your reverse nifas? Don't know. How long? Don't know. Right? Mutahayyirah lah. Yeah, you must record every child what was the nifas. Right? Halis nifas how long? No one told you anything, right? That's why. Right, so now tell all the new mothers, right, anyone who's just got married, getting pregnant, right, please, your nifas, write down, right, where your nifas ended. Okay, so so the next okay, next scenario, okay, third scenario, there's seven cases, inshallah, 7 cases. Okay, third, al-mu'tada al-mayyiza, alhamdulillah. Now the woman who has had nifas before, she had births before, right, and the bloods are differentiable, right? So this person, okay, as with menses, you go with differentiable first, right? You don't go with ada. You don't go with norm, but you go with differentiable. But usually I will look at both at the same time because usually the differentiable will match the norm. Usually, right? From my experience, when you see it differentiate, you can see if you compare to the norm, there is a match. That it will show that the norm happened. And the norm happened. You can see that it actually happened. Usually. Right? But of course, the differentiable is the main rule. So ruling is that she's given the ring of tamyiz, not her norm, unless the minimum purity occurred within the bloods, then her norm for haid is given. Because if minimum purity occurred within the bloods, then now she goes into haid already. There is no more talk about nifas. Talk about haid already. Right? So her nifas is a strong bloods, and the weak bloods are istihadhah, and all the conditions of tamyiz apply. Right? Means must go with all the conditions of tamyiz of bloods. Let's look at the first scenario. Okay, this person, it's always when scenario then you understand. Like you see all the just the qaida, the principles, the theory, the what lah. Scenario, okay, now you get it. Okay, scenario, you get it. Okay, the previous nifas was 40 days. Okay, previous birth, 40 days. Doesn't matter when was the previous birth, It doesn't matter 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It doesn't matter when was your previous birth. But the very last birth. Right? So like for example, your Muhammad, you have to look at Halima, right? Yeah, Halima's nifas. If his was Istihadhah, you have to go back to Halima. Go and find Halima's nifas. What was the nifas? 59, number 59 exactly. Alhamdulillah. Oh, you've maxed out your nifas. Oh, mashallah. Okay, so this person nifas was 40 days, and it is a norm. After giving birth, she saw 20 days of black blood, then red blood all the way beyond 60. Okay, 20 days black, red all the way. Ruling on her, mumayyiza. Okay, so only 20 days of blood or black blood was her nifas. We give her 20 days of nifas. So now after the 20 days, all the rest is istihadhah, right? Okay, I think this one need to actually put in the ruling of her haid. See lah. I didn't put in the ruling of the haid because it's from the book. The book does not say anything about the haid, but you need to actually put in the ruling of the haid, right? So at day 20, we count her nifas to have finished. Okay, right? So now we need to ask her what is her norm for haid. What is her norm for haid? So if she says, okay, haid usually 15 days clean, 7 days haid. Okay, so thereafter, after the 20 days of nifas, 15 days we give her clean, right? And then 7 days haid, and then 15 days clean, then 7 days haid. Okay, the part I didn't put in, she should put in that part, right? Actually, the second part. Are you looking picture? I want to type out on here. Kata part, okay. I mean, just put here. Right, so not qada all the way. Sorry, I must change the answer. So this is she based and praise. Needs to make qada prayers from she needs to consider actually. Okay, unless let's see. No. You consider her prayers. So not actually qada all the way. Right, and praise, right? Then apply, right? The norm for haid. Okay, apply a norm for haid. Right. So if her norm is 15 days clean, 7 days haid, then she goes on this. Okay, because the rates are not differentiable. So that's why the rates go back into norm and not tamyiz. The red blood is very long red blood. It's like how many days red blood? From day 21 to 60 all the way. Right. So that somewhere in the red blood is haid. Somewhere in that red blood is haid, right? So, but it can't tell because it says one red blood. So now we're going to give her cycle again. So if let's say her norm is 15, haid 7, so we say, okay, from day 21 Today plus 15. How plus 15? Today 30, 30, 30, 36. Today 36, clean. That one must qada. Okay. Then 37, today 44. 44 7 days That one no need to qada. Okay. Then day 45, today 61. Betul? 61. Then that one must qada. Okay, so not all the way through must qada, but just the clean days of her norm. Yes, good question.
But her nifas, even though the black garden is clean and red, it only 60 days.
No, the rate went beyond 60.
Okay.
The drag. So once it drag beyond 60 only, red alert lah, you're on istihadhah. But if the rate stop short of 60, safe, whole thing nifas. Alhamdulillah. Beyond 60 days. I went past 60 days. Beyond 60 days. So if it had stopped at 60 itself, you say you breathe. Alhamdulillah. The whole thing was nifas. No qada, nothing. Means to only qada prayers, right? So prayers in that fell in the clean days due to her norm. Okay, her norm for haid. Okay, right. So if you want to put the numbers to it, you can put number, right? So day 1 to day 20 is what? Nifas. Okay. Then now day 21 to day what? So she has a 15-day of menses kan? So plus 15 you get 36. Is it correct? So this one is was actually clean by norm. Okay, so this one you say must qada. Right, must qada the prayers. Okay, and then where do I type out now? Let me just bring everything up. Sila. I bring a menu slide. Okay. Let me just erase this whole thing. Okay, so now, okay, from day 36, no, Ibrahim is hitting the table. 37, 7 days, right? 7 days until where? 44. Correct. Right, this is menses. Because her norm is 7 days. Right? And then day 45 to what? Plus 15, 60. Is it? Okay, then clean. Gazan must qada. Okay, her bleeding is continuous. I know her bleeding is continuous. So we say 61 onwards is going to be menses, and she's going to figure her way out from there on lah. So 61 for 7 days, I mean 68, right? 68 will be right menses, right? And then thereafter. So basically, you're going to give her the norm all the way. So her norm is what? 15 days clean, 7 days menses. 15 days clean, 7 days. She's going to go in that way, right? So thereafter, if she had baby at 60, she goes back to menses. Right, at 61. So you need to write down. So you need to know where is your qada, where is your menses. So you have to count the whole thing, right? Inshallah, you have your menses days to save you not to qada at those days, right? And then the rest of the days you have to, and so on lah, right? And so on, right? For as long as the bleeding continues. Okay, all right, alhamdulillah. Okay, so next, but these are all cases, inshallah, very rare. Inshallah rare. So usually for women, right, I will ask them, at the 60th day, was there a moment of clean? Please tell me a moment of clean. Right? Because if you can tell me on the 60th day, means after 60, that before 60 times 24 hours, there was the moment of clean that continued beyond the 60th day, then I give you the hukum of moment between nifas and menses is a moment of tuhur. There's a hukum of that. We went through it earlier in the lectures. The first few lectures, if you all go back, right, about nifas, the minimum clean between a full nifas and menses is a moment. So usually, if I were to hear someone say they have istihadhah in nifas, I will always ask her, did you see any clean or any cleanliness on your 60th day? Right. If you can tell me you saw, okay, maybe you gave birth at 4 p.m., right? 4 p.m. Okay, 4 p.m. So on day 60, you're not free 24 hours. Maybe you saw at 2 p.m. it became clean. And then maybe at 7 p.m. blood came back. Okay, you had a moment of clean, right? From before the 60 days ended and it continued past 60 days. So now safe, I can tell you the 60 days all nifas. And the new blood, menses. The period, yes, because you remember about nifas, right? I mean, where's our nifas? I know, I mentioned somewhere here. Okay, here. Okay, the blood. These are our first few lectures about nifas, right? So between nifas and haid, the not here. I don't know where I put it. Where I put it. Right, but between a full nifas and a haid, you need a moment of purity to distinguish them. Right. Within the nifas days, okay, within nifas days, you need 15 days to differentiate haid from nifas. So that means, so within 60 days, right? So my nifas ended, okay, on day 30. Okay. For 10 days, nothing. Then blood came back. Okay, the second blood is nifas. Okay, remember the second blood is nifas. It's all non-istihadhah cases. Okay. But if my nifas ended on day 30, right? And then on day 30 ended, then on day 50 came back. Okay, so I see 20 days of clean. And my second blood is menses because I fulfilled the minimum purity, but within the 60 days. Yes, but if it's outside 60 days, doesn't matter. Even the moment counts. So if let's say I cleaned on day 59, then on day 61 blood came back, day 61 is menses. And until 159 is all nifas. So usually when people tell me they have istihadhah in nifas, I tell them on the 60th day, did you experience even, a moment like of clean from before the 60th day ended and before the next blood appeared? Usually, if you're having very sparse discharge, you will experience some moments of clean. In between, nothing there. It's clean. It's under. It's important if you can tell me. And it happened to one of my friends. But she was like, even right up to 60th day. And I said to her, okay, any point in time, were you dry, completely dry, nothing, or you saw white discharge? Any point, she says, please. It was her first. It was her first nifas. Right? I said, please tell me, like on the 60th day, any point in time, did you experience this? And she says, yes. There was nothing from Isha all the way until Asar, right? On day 60. I said, what time you give birth? And he said, I gave birth on 2 a.m. Okay. That means your 60th day ended at 2 a.m., which means from Isha all the way to Asar, you were clean. And Asar came out again. So which means Asar time bleeding, menses. Before Isha the previous day was, you feel your nifas safe. The whole thing nifas. So no qada on you. Okay, so that is important lah. Ah, it must only happen on the 60th day. It can happen before 60th day, as long as the tuhur continued past 60th day. So it will happen on the 55, 56, 57, right? But that one is clear because you have tuhur, then on this 263, then the blood came back. And that one is clear. And the one that is unclear is if it happens on this city itself, people think it's a continuous istihadhah. But actually it was a nifas, ended, a period of time of clean, and menses began. Okay, that counts, and that would help a lot of people. Okay, so this one we went through. Tamam. Okay, let's the end of the first so have to be different. They have to be different. As long as got that period of clean, must have the period of clean. Okay, let's go to the next scenario, number four, the fourth scenario. Let me just show. Okay. I'm going through a bit quickly because nifas, okay lah, most people give birth once, twice in their life, right? 3 times. Like most people don't give birth like so many times in their life to have to figure out nifas all the time. So even with your qada upon nifas, it happens every so often lah. Like nifas doesn't happen all the time for most women. So unlike menses, whereby it happens every month. Right, so nifas ini happens in your fertile years when you're giving birth, right? And dah khalas, you're done with your nifas, no more issues with nifas. But please give a heads up to our young woman who just got married, right? So this person, woman who had so mu'tada ghair mumayyiza, Okay, this one has no tamyiz, this person, but mu'tadah. So easy for her, right? Nifas before, her bloods are not differentiable, either because the blood is on one trait for more than 60 days, or that condition tamyiz are not met. So ruling off her is that ruling off her norm for nifas, purity, and haid. Okay, norm for nifas, purity, and haid, as she has had haid before. If she has never had haid before, right, then rulings of a beginner in the haid. Okay, simply, All right, so first scenario, number 39. Her norm is 40 days nifas. So this nifas, she saw red for 80 days. Okay, all the way red. Like her norm, her previous, so when she hits day 60, she must call up an ustazah already to explain this to her. Okay, and call out someone who knows lah, please. Unfortunately, I've met ustazahs who don't know. And they give rulings all wrong. So please ask someone that you know you can trust. They know this stuff. Okay, this is something that not everybody actually understands. Okay, because I have heard ustazahs giving ruling, yani, wrong rulings, right? And then they're not supposed to do that. Okay, unfortunately, not many people are trained in this bab. Right, the norm is 40 days nifas. So this nifas, she saw red for 80 days. Her norm in the haid is 6 days menses, 22 days purity. Okay, very clear, this person. So what do we say? No differentiable blood. Easy. Okay, first 40 days, nifas. Okay, actually when it's not differentiable, it's very easy. Just what's your ada? And then just give ada and then give tuhur and give haid, then give tuhur, and give haid, and give tuhur. It's really mathematical because mathematical, regardless of what it was. I think this previously last week, someone texted me her problem lah, her issue. So she is pregnant, but she's bleeding continuously, and her bleeding has no differentiable blood soluble. Anyway, recording stop. Okay, then and heavy, like heavy, like heavy, like, but it's just one sifat. Nothing, no difference in the color, no, not darker color, simple. So for her, she's not differentiable. Not differentiable. So I asked her for her ada lah. She gave me her ada, usually 5 days ahead. So I give her the hukum of and her ada, right, also must go to what date? Because now she's bleeding continuously. Okay, as your previous head, what date it was Hijri. So I gave her Hijri by Hijri. So she said from what of Muharram to what of Muharram, right? Was her previous head. Okay, so every month, of this continuous bleeding, that is your head. That is your head. And she said, but doesn't make sense because in the dates that you give me, right? In those days, there was a point whereby like it was lighter than other days. That you say it's Istihadhah. I have no choice because you are not Maiza. So I just give you like a blank, it's really literally it's very clockwork. It's just clockwork because you can't be differentiated. So it doesn't matter whether like you say, but some bits is a bit heavier, some bits a bit lighter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The whole thing is one sifat. Why doesn't it matter? Because the womb behaves in a different way. So it could be the same blood. It's the same blood, but sometimes the womb drop some more, and the womb drop a bit, the womb drop some more. It's the same blood. It's the same blood. That's why when you say, people ask, how come the beginning part of hate, the brown, before the red comes, right? How come now counted as hate? Because that is from the red. That is appearing from the red. It's not a separate blood. It's from the red, it's a prelude to the red. Right? Then the red comes. So that's why we count all the brown as also hate. Hey, Ibrahim. So because he come alim in the hate already. Like come for every lesson, no istiqamah. MashaAllah. So going through the ruling, this person. So her norm is 40 days. So following her norm, so day 1 to 40 is, nifas. Right, then her norm for purity is 22 days. So 41 to 62 purity. Okay, so laws of istihadhah apply on her, right? So then she is given her norm for haid, which is 6 days. Okay, if she's still bleeding, that means 6 days. So from 63 to 68 is menses. Then norm for purity given again. But at day 60, she should have bathed. At day 60, she should have bathed and she have figured out where is her clean and where will be her haid. Okay, then norm for purity given again, 69 to 80, she is pure, right? No blood thereafter, she's on purity and the blood comes back as haid. Okay, Naam, right. So all not qada because she should have been praying the entire time because she should have figured out on day 60 she must really stop herself and figure out where is the haid, where is the nifas, where is the tuhur. Like she must figure out already. Huh? Easy case. Now easy case for this person. Now alhamdulillah. Okay, next scenario Scenario 40. Her norm is 30 days for nifas. For this nifas, she's only red blood for 70 days. Okay, one commentary for this person, her previous nifas was normal. Her next nifas was abnormal, right? For her following nifas, if let's say after this entire scenario of 80 days, her following nifas, I mean, she gets pregnant again and gets another child again, she can bathe on the 40th day. I mean, she can act on the assumption she's going to go into istihadhah. She can act on the assumption. As you mentioned, if you hate, same thing. You can act on the assumption. Because so if you have had a normal head and you had one istihadhah, okay, that istihadhah didn't know was happening because the previous head was normal. So now this istihadhah, you go and act on your norm. So the next bleeding, you can assume is going to be istihadhah again. So you can act on your norm on the spot. You don't have to wait for the 15 days to finish. You can act on the spot. So it will save you having to qada. Everybody's qada. So you can act. But if it shows that you're on a new norm now. So there was no istihadhah, but it was a longer haid. No istihadhah, so now you have a new norm. Okay, so your norm, yes, so your norm is only based on the very last one. That's your norm. On the very last one is a norm. Okay. So the next one here, norm is 30 days of nifas. Right. For this nifas, she saw only red blood for 70 days. Never had menses before. Oh, person. But had nifas, Right. So she has never had menses when she has had nifas. Possible. Right. That they gave birth. And after they gave birth, they didn't have nifas, they didn't have menses at all, no head whatsoever. And then got pregnant the same round. So the very next ovulation, they got pregnant again. So it's possible that someone keeps getting pregnant with each ovulation. First time ovulate, get already pregnant. Get the first nifas. Then next time ovulate, pregnant again. The next nifas. No hate happened for her in her life. Right, mashallah, this person. So, but these are scenarios whereby they probably happen with women. The nifas are taken by her norm days, 30 days. So nifas is given a norm. Then she goes into minimum menses, maximum purity. So 29 days purity, 1 day menses, 29-day purity, 1 day menses, like that lah, until she finishes. Okay. So 1 to 30 nifas. 31 to 39 istihadhah. Crawl. Naikkan dia punya bambu sikit. Crawl. Okay. Right, 60 menses. 60, okay, at this point, she has to have bathed at this point to figure out what's going on with her. Okay, then from this point on, istihadhah, she should pray as normal anyway. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, the fifth one, okay, I'm going very, very fast. Everybody okay or not? I'm going very fast because it's this normal, it's the same with the head principles. So I'm going quite fast because it's the same principles with the head. Now we go to our new word, ihtiyat. Ihtiyat is basically some things become haram, something become halal or must, wajib. Some things are wajib and some things become haram because you don't know if you are on menses or tuhur. Both shak. There's no yaqeen anywhere. This is ihtiyat because there's the shak all the way. No yaqeen. So ihtiyat, right? And completely confused woman. So mutahayyara al-mutlaqa, the completely confused woman in nifas. She is a woman who forgot how many days of nifas she has and when her nifas usually comes. So if you're wondering, I thought nifas comes after giving birth. Not for all women. Some women, there's a few days of gap and then nifas comes. Right, interesting, mashallah. Right, but most women, you can remember lah. I mean, you should remember that your nifas comes immediately upon birth. Right, but maybe like this person over here forgot her first previous nifas. So luckily Ibrahim's birth is normal and his nifas is normal. Even nifas was istihadhah, we have to ask you what is Khalil's nifas. Then Khalil's nifas, that was 10 years ago. Right, mana lah Khalil nifas? Mashallah. What is Khalil's nifas? Maybe 40 lah, roughly. No clue. There's no clue at all. Like roughly. I don't know lah. You know, let's say 40. Not 60, yeah. Okay. So she forgot how many days she has, and she forgot when it usually comes. So you ask her, does your nifas usually come upon birth? Don't know. Not sure how she don't know that, but she doesn't know. Right? Don't know. Right? Does it come after birth? Maybe. Does it come a few days after birth? Not sure. Like, this is called the mutahayyara. She's so confused. I really wonder who is this woman, eh? May Allah not make us her this woman. Like her bloods are non-differentiable, this person. Okay. Kalau differentiable, straight away you go to tamis. But bloods not differentiable. So her ruling of the completely confused woman undergo ihtiyat, meaning at every moment she must consider she could be in purity or in nifas. It's regardless if she's a beginner or experienced in the haid. So every moment, so it's regardless of a haid. Why? Why? Because the reason for this is because the nifas is ambiguous. The start of the message is not possible to be figured out. So it the entire way. Because we have no idea when the nifas began. When was the lahza? Yes, because she has no idea when the nifas begins. So you don't know where is her lahza, where is the moment of nifas? Is it the point of birth or later? So we have no clue where is this moment of nifas. Because she's completely, she's forgotten everything about her nifas, her previous nifas. Right? So she has no idea. So we don't know anything about her. Lah. The she didn't give any example for this one. It's like, it's too much to talk about. I think he's ended the book very quickly after that. But I'll give you one example, okay? So he didn't give any examples for this last the fifth scenario. Actually, fifth, sixth, seven, he didn't give any scenario. I think he's like, you confused woman, if you exist, like come and talk to me. If you actually exist. Like so he actually gave all seven, eight, five, six, seven, all the confused women. He didn't give any examples. So as I have no examples. Because he didn't give any examples, but we can come up with an example. So for example, someone has nifas. Nifas, oh, she's a first timer, right? So no ada. Oh no ada. She has an ada. Not first timer. She has an ada, right? She regard her menses is regardless, eh? We don't care about her menses. So she has a third or fourth nifas all the past 3 days. Okay, so now we ask her, give me your blood sifat. So first thing is the sifat of the blood. So I can see the vegetable or not. She said it was all red. Or didn't record. The record goes under normal minus, eh? The record, just blood, only blood. What color? Color where? Any brown, any red, any black? Don't know. Never record a single thing. It's just blood. For serious. Okay, fine. So he said to her, okay, what was your previous nifas? Can't remember a single thing. And then at least between what, 30, 40 days? Between something. Right, at least you can work with something. Complete no clue. A range of this? No clue. Allah. Maybe something happened to her, lah, Allah alam. And then maybe she's going through some illness or junun or something, some illness or whatever. Then you ask her, okay, your nifas, will it begin the moment you give birth? Maybe not. He said, then where does it usually begin? Don't know. Can you give like a more sure answer? No clue. No clue. So this person, right? It could be that her nifas was the entire series, and it could be there was a moment in the series. We have no idea where is her nifas. So her menses is irrelevant to us, right? Now we tell her for the whole of the 3 days, right? She needs to do a qada, right, of all of it, right? Because at this point she's gone through the entire series, so it's now qada of the entire series because you have no idea whether you were on nifas for a moment, or on nifas for 20 days, or nifas for 3 days, or nifas for the entire time. We have no clue. So to play safe about your salat, the safest thing to do is to qada all 60 days. Dah. Right? Qada all 60 days because she's gone past 60 days. Right? So actually the ihtiyat here is if she wants to actually the ihtiyat here is during the nifas itself. But that's irrelevant. It's after the nifas. And she has to go and do a qada of the 60 days. Right? So which means that and the thing about it is that if she's continuously bleeding past 60 days, that is when she doesn't know whether she's on menses or on nifas. She doesn't know, right? Because she doesn't know where the nifas ended. So that's why she has to bathe for every prayer, every fard, and she has to qada. And she find a solution to her problem, for this person. Okay, number 6. Okay, we can actually finish it today, mashallah. But actually, think I will talk to her about today, see if she's free next week. Then next week morning or something, ask her if she's free, if she can do the khatam. I'm not sure if she's free or not lah, but let's try my luck. Right, and if she's free to do the khatam of Q&A, okay, Q&A, this will khatam the book, right? So, but I'll finish the mas'ala lah, right? And then next week I see if we can get Hababa to come down. Right, al-mutahayyara, who remembered when is the usual day for nifas, but forgot how many days her nifas is usually. So who is this person? She's the one who says, so the last 3 cases, right, from the way the Sheikh wrote the book, right, he went through very fast. So I think it's more like this very rarely happens. So khalas. I'm not going to spend so much time on this. Right, it's very, very rare that there's a woman who's really this confused. Very rare. With most women, they should know at least when their nifas begins. And most, like, okay, like, I know my menses was more than 30 days. But I know it was less than 40 days or 50 days. So at least, or nifas, at least you can give a range for the ulama to work with, right? So this one says, my first nifas usually starts immediately after giving birth, but I forgot how many days. Completely forgot how many days. So the reading on her is that that only the moment after birth of was nifas with certainty, while the remaining 3 days she could have possibly be clean, right, or possibly be on nifas. So hence she is on ihtiyat, right? She's on ihtiyat for all 60 days because she forgot how long is her nifas. So I can't even apply menses on her, right? Because it could very well be the entire 60 days was nifas, or it could be the whole of it was not nifas. So now menses is irrelevant. It's irrelevant for these people, right? So now for every fard, she must bathe. Okay. So another case, if a woman has this, my nifas usually begins 5 days after birth. Okay, my last birth, I remember I had 5 days of clean, then nifas came. So on the 5th day, it is given that she had nifas for a moment only because she forgot how long is a nifas usually. And she can't give even a range, right? And at the rest of the time, she's in ihtiyat and must bathe for every fard, right? Okay, let's say someone says, I can give you a range. Okay, I forgot how many exactly, but I know definitely first 2 weeks I was on nifas. Definitely first 2 weeks, definitely nifas. Then I know it ended, I know I didn't go into istihadhah. I know it ended around day 50 something, right? For example. So she says, at least more than 14 days, confirm, right? But at most 50 something days. 50 something is what? 59, like you remember 59. So which means that, which means that from day 15 to day 59, you are on ihtiyat. So ihtiyat not the entire time, but on where the doubt was. Because you don't know where your norm actually ends. We don't know. So you say, I know more than 2 weeks, less than 60 days. Okay? No, that means so that means, oh yeah, that means she's got all of it. That's correct. Yeah, got all of it. Because she come back 60 days, Yeah, she come back 60 days. But basically this the ihtiyat, I guess it will only apply if, let's say, is a continuous situation. That means istihadhah is in continuous istihadhah in nifas. Continuous situation, Naam. Okay, so this person, I must pay for every fard. Okay, for this person. Okay. So usually if you do qada, right? Like I would say to person, if you have qada because of nifas and issues of nifas, I would say to them, wait until you stop bleeding. So at least when you stop bleeding, like you are yaqeen tuhur. I don't have to keep bathing. Right? So you just wait until you finish bleeding, then do all your qadas. Right? If you have clear conscience, your qadas are all accepted. Right? So and the bottom line is that whenever you are confused of anything, if you're haid or nifas, right, just to go on the side of playing safe, in your clearly clean days, do qadas. Just in case there was something that you missed out, or you forgot, or you whatever, right? So that's why in Tarim every Ramadan you do qada, because you don't know like what of your prayers were counted, was not counted, and which part of your nifas, your head all confused, and then you pray, don't pray, you bathe, don't know what you bathe, and all of that lah. Subhanallah. And there was once I was giving a talk in university lah, and then after the talk, one lady came up to me, undergraduate, with hijab and everything. And then she told me that she committed zina, right? And she wants to know how to repent. And I said, just repent from the zina, right? Inshallah. Then I said to her, do you bathe? I mean, because that comes to the concern, how are your prayers? So I said, hey, do you bathe after your zina? And she said, no. She didn't do ghusl because it is janaba. And I said, subhanallah. Then it occurred to me, do you get menses? She says, yes, I think a few days after. Right? Okay, alhamdulillah. The bath from, because the zina happened a few months ago. Right? So the bath from the menses killed her.
Oh.
The ghusl from the menses killed her from the janaba of zina. Even though she was jahil, she was ignorant to not know, she has to bathe after your zina. I guess if someone falls into a major sin, the first thing you don't think, oh, janaba. I mean, when you're married, you think that way. I think when you're not married, you probably don't think that way. I don't know. So I said, okay, you need to know how many days between your zina and your first day menses. Okay, the number of days, carve out those prayers. Right? And of course, make a full tawbah from zina and then go back to that ever again. Right? And the person that you did zina with, right, break off from that individual. Right? And she came forward, and mashallah, and then that's how I was like, my mind went to, do you bathe? And then Allah put it in my head, tell her to bathe. But she did bathe from her menses, alhamdulillah. If not, she had three months of salat all not counted. So janabah the entire time. Right? No, subhanallah. But alhamdulillah, she bathed from her haid. Alhamdulillah, safe. I just said those few days between the zina and the haid, those few days you need to qada out those prayers. I had to tell her that lah. Sometimes like this mas'ala appear out of nowhere, and you think, what's the hukum? Like, mashallah. So I had to guide her on her salat, and then they said to her, tawbat. This tawbat is enough. It's enough. I know some people are asking, I quite get questions quite a bit. And yeah, quite a bit. Singapore, and the most unsuspecting people, really, like I would never imagine that she was someone who committed zina. Like, she was so docile, so quiet, so unsuspecting in a sense, right? And like when she said what she said, because she came close to me and she went to whisper to me, like I just had to control my emotion and not show anything in my face of shock, or just like really she had the courage to come up and say it, because she wants to know what's the hukum right now on her, right? And some of them and some people think that they need to have to go through a punishment for their repentance. Right? I say, no, keep it to yourself, just repent. Right? There's no need for a punishment. There's no need for lashing, no need for no need for a punishment for the repentance to be accepted. Inshallah. Inshallah. Okay. Now.
Same thing as miscarriage.
Yes, correct. So question. So miscarriage, only when a person has miscarried something, a clot that is confirmed a human being. So you must confirm that the clot that came out is al-asl adami, must be a human being. So the scholars say that it is not possible to tell conclusively if a clot that came out is a human being except after 2 months. Only after 2 months, then you can conclusively tell that the clot is a human being, because there are, as I mentioned before, there are types of pregnancies whereby the placenta forms, the amniotic sac forms, but no fetus. So there was actually no human being there the entire time. And usually the body will detect this in 2 months. And the body detects it, the body will throw it out. So a lot of women will think they're going through a miscarriage, but there was no baby there to begin with. So the body, so there was fertilization, right? But some other the egg did not implant. So the body began to produce, all to prepare for the baby, and it was preparing for 2 months, but actually the egg fell. The egg already fell. It never actually implanted. So the body prepared for pregnancy, and so she will test her hormones, her blood, everything. It shows she's pregnant, but actually there is no baby. So the fuqaha, mashallah, in that back then in the time of Islam, right, they figured out that there are women. They have all the signs of pregnancy, but they are not pregnant. There's no human being. So they make it very clear that what came out of her must be identified as human physically, must be identified as human. So hormonal tests are not counted, right? 2 months. So 2 months, then you can tell that what came out of you was actually human, right? Human origin, right? So then the blood that comes thereafter is nifas. But below 2 months, you can't tell if it's human or not human. That is counted as menses, because menses is a default. Default hukum is menses. So even if it was a human being, you can't tell. You can't tell. So you can't say for certain that there was a human being. So it's counted as menses. Menses. MashaAllah, he's very excited. I'm going to finish the book. Okay, so this person, okay, the last case, inshallah. So we finish our book today so fast. Because last time the she went through very fast. She just like wrote all the qaida, no mas'ala, no examples, and he ended the book. And he's like, enough. Talk about so many times, talk about Istihadhah all the time. So I think he just like went through very fast. Right, so but inshallah next week I'll try and see if we can do a khatam. Right, so the mutahayyara, who remembered how many days usually, but forgot when her nifas usually begins. Okay, so you can say, my nifas is usually 10 days, but I don't remember if it began immediately after birth or before 15 days from birth. And why is it 15 days? Because if there was a 15-day gap, then the blood is menses. The blood is not nifas. If there was a 15-day gap. So you ask her, your nifas usually how long? 10 days. When does it begin? Don't know. Right. So you ask her, does it usually begin before 15 days of birth? Not sure. Just not sure. Right. Okay. So what do we say to her? For her, 10 days after birth is her nifas with doubt, because you don't know where it began. Okay. So from day 1 to day 10, we say it was your nifas, right? But we put it in his mouth. Okay, and then so from day 1 to day 10, right, nifas with doubt. Okay, the next 14 days, right, till day 24, she has purity with doubt. Okay, then 1 day on purity, which is certainty, is day 25. Okay, then because and I'll explain the entire thing in a while, inshallah. Right, then she enters doubtful haid. Doubtful haid, depending on her norm, right? And thereafter, doubtful purity according to her norm, right? In a state of doubt, in all the doubts here, she bays for every fard and follows ihtiyat. The whole thing is doubtful. The whole thing is doubtful. Okay, but she only has 1 day of purity that is certain. Okay, 1 day of purity that is certain, which is day 25. Okay, right. So why is it 25 purity that is certain? It is because her nifas can happen any day from day 1 all the way to day 15, correct? Right? And her nifas happens for 10 days, right? 10 days. So we know her nifas did not begin after let's see. Remember when they gave birth or before 15 days from birth. Okay. So if you want to consider her nifas first, her nifas must happen within the first 15 days. Okay, must happen within the first 15 days. Because if it happen after the first 15 days, it's counted as haid. It's haid, it's not nifas, it's haid. Right? So, and then she has 10 days of haid. Right? So she said that, okay, so from day 1 to day 15 is possible nifas. Okay, so if it was day 1 to day 10 is the first possible nifas, or day 2 to day 11, or day 3 to day 12, or day 4 to day 13, or day 5 to day 15. You get it? You follow how I'm doing, So or day 6 to day 15, right? And so on. The 10 days can be anywhere, right? In these first 15 days, it can start anywhere in these 15 days. So until day 15 is started, and it will end by day 24. Okay, so that is the maximum she can go. That is why day 25 is purity with certainty. Right, the purity with certainty. Then she enters the full haid, right, depending on her norm, right? And thereafter, the puberty, going to her norm, right? And so on. Okay, but it's not all, you must have the mas'ala lah. I must have the proper mas'ala to actually understand and apply. But I think the Shaykh left out any examples because he knows it will be very confusing and probably irrelevant to most people. Right? It's a very rare case that somebody is this confused. So I think the three mutahayyira women that is in these cases didn't really go into their cases, right? Because it's something very rare. So most people, they fit in the first four cases if you have istihadhah in nifas. In fact, most women don't have istihadhah in nifas. Most women, the nifas ends, safe before 60 days, inshallah. Okay, so the last thing, the summary of chapter 8, for the woman who is having her first child, please check out your nifas in detail. The loss of nifas assumed that of haid and istihadhah in nifas brings in the norm of for haid as well. Okay, so your haid is brought in into this situation. Okay, tamam. Alhamdulillah. Let me just skip let me see any questions. Is there questions? First question here, expose your to knowledgeable to know the consequences. Is it permissible? Yes, it is permissible. Right? To know, there were several Sahaba who did that to Rasulullah alayhi wasallam, right? Because they want to know the ruling of consequences, right? Of course, what you can do is, and what is best to do is, in fact, to seek help. You can tell about sin, to seek help, right? But what is best to do is say someone you know. Don't say you lah. You say, I know someone, my close friend. It's okay. Right? So, but that's lying. No, you know yourself. I know someone. It's me. Right? I mean, let's say it that way. Sometimes I wish people didn't tell me it's them. Because I'm human. Right? So there was one person told me she cheated on her husband. And ever since then, like I felt very uncomfortable around her. Like, because I'm human. I don't want to judge you, but I'm human. You tell me you cheated on your husband. She was a niqabi, and it wasn't right, hijabi, niqabi, and cheated. I'm like sometimes I just my heart can't take care of it. Right. So I like say someone. Don't say you. Say someone. Then at least I don't have to think it's you. Like tell me it's you. Then tell me it's you. No, not in my heart already. Like, we're only human. We're only human. Okay, and it affects us when you tell us about your major sins. Right. But anyway, I work on a platform called My Safe Space. Right, and people come on and they tell me about their sins. And I have no idea who they are. So it's really anonymous. I have no clue who is chatting. So I can't even tell a voice. It's all chatting. Like every Friday on the platform. That's right. That's like all my cases, right? Because I'm on the platform. Right. So someone said first baby nifas started. Okay, put it on the all small things, right? Put it on the what do you call this? Padlet. Put it on the Padlet. Okay. Put on the Padlet so I can see it on the Padlet. Specific scenarios on the Padlet is Upa Padlet. Okay, but I'm gonna end the class here today. Next week I'm gonna see if I can invite Hababa, right, to answer the questions. And if she can't make it, I see who I can invite lah. Who's free on Sunday morning to answer questions. But I will try my best this week to just answer all the questions on Padlet, right? Try my best. And then probably next is the last lesson lah. Last lesson. Alhamdulillah. I need to lighten my load lah. I need to lighten my load. So I just need to finish lessons, finish classes, inshallah. So inshallah, I will answer the questions through the week. So the Padlet is here. Those who don't know the link of the Padlet, let me give you the link. Okay, you can put your questions here. Okay, right, and next year I'll answer lah. Okay, inshallah, it's all clear. Wassallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa salam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Al-Fatiha. Inna Allah yarzuquna manafi'an wal amal khas. وإلى أرواح معالينا مشايخنا وذل علينا وإلى حضرة النبي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك.